Yo, what's up guys? This is Casey of OCDGaming. Welcome to the channel yet again. Today I'm going to be covering over the new updated guide for Devastation Evoker for the new season coming up, season 1 of the War Within. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it and just get everything covered. We're going to be talking about the gear, the stats, what you should be running for talents, and I'm also, yes, I'm covering Scalecommander and Flameshaper. I know some people don't like Flameshaper, and you know who you are.
Still useless.
So let's hop into it, guys. So the stats and gear, everything that we're gonna be running with, it's pretty straightforward. It's just like anything else, you know, all the pieces that you can get mastery verse on, get those. If you can't get a verse mastery gear, then go ahead and just get haste, versatility, because those are going to be this is kind of what the stats are going to be looking at right now. We can't really get much verse at the moment, which kind of sucks, but obviously later in the season we'll be able to get that, so nothing to worry about there. But let's just hop right into the talents, because I know that's what everybody is here for. Now obviously, as I say every single time, your talents can be swapped around depending on what you're fighting. Now if you're fighting 2 melees, you can go with Inner Radiance, because you'll get more healing. You don't have to worry about kicks that much, unless it's, I would say, unless it's like a Resto Druid is their healer, because then you really want to be on top of kicking those clones. If you're fighting casters like a Mage, a Warlock, or even if you're fighting DKs, Rets, go with Unravel. If you're not, then go with a Pressing Roar. All the same stuff I said in my last guide pretty much stays relevant through and through here always. So first thing we're gonna cover is Scalecommander. Scalecommander is super strong. I have no doubt in my mind it's going to be the meta for the very long time, unless they do some pretty big changes to Flameshaper. I know Engulf just got recently buffed by 30%, which is huge, because Engulf is actually hitting pretty hard right now. So I'm still a kind of a firm believer in the Flameshaper. Maybe it's the copium that's just been pumped in my brain for many years, but I was testing around with it on stream, which, hey, if you don't follow my stream, twitch.tv/OCDGaming90, link will be down below. Follow the stream so you know whenever I go live. I've been testing a lot. It's actually really fun, really good damage. I think it's going to be super good in BGs. Both are arguably really good in BGs. Scalecommander feels very consistent in arenas, and Flameshaper feels good against, in my opinion, double casters and even like pet cleaves too, because Scalecommander just feels like if it's like BM or Unholy DK or Demo, it just feels bad to go Scalecommander into that. But you know, we'll see obviously the more we go into the season and go forward with that. But first talent, it's just a given, Mass Disintegrate. It's a really cool ability. Empower spells cause your next Disintegrate to strike up to 3 targets, and if there's like no 3 targets to strike, if it saves just 1 person, Disintegrate will just have the increased damage for each missing target, so it can be huge damage. I've seen my Disintegrate hit up to like 900k almost a tick, which is crazy strong. Might of the Black Dragonflight increases the damage of your black spells, so that is going to be your Deep Breath on Devastation Evoker, which is super strong because it builds down to Melt Armor all the way down to Maneuverability, which just gives your Deep Breath a dot over time. But Melt Armor is the next talent we'll cover. It Deep Breath causes enemies to take 20% increased damage from bombardment and essence abilities. Again, essence abilities playing a part into this, so your Disintegrate is going to just be doing more freaking damage, which is great. And then we get a little bit of survivability going on here, which is finally a good thing that's coming for Devastation Evoker, because we tend to just lack the way to just survive. It's just 10% to Obsidian scales, so that's now 40%, because the original Obsidian scales was 30%, so good to have, you know, 40% wall, that's not bad. And then the other one is just Menacing Presence. I don't think you're ever going to be playing this as Devastation Evoker. Just knocking up enemies or backwards reduces damage done to you by 15% for 8 seconds. This is definitely more an augmentation Scalecommander kind of thing, because you have upheaval, knock up, knock back, and then it's just always going to happen when you use upheaval. So I think that's where it would be a little bit better. And then we'll go up here to bombardments. Mass Disintegrate marks your target, your primary target, for destruction for the next 6 seconds, aka you and your ally have a chance to cause them to swoop in, do damage, and just do like AoE burst of explosion damage. and that goes down into a Wing Leader, where bombardments reduce the cooldown of deep breath by 1 second for each target struck up to 3 seconds. That's huge because now you're gonna have more deep breaths along the way, and it's just gonna be a lot more damage overall. There's a lot of games where I have my deep breath like 1, 2, or even 3rd for damage, and then having that maneuverabilities dot on it is just super nice. And then we get another choice here: extended battle essence abilities extend bombardment by 1 second, or diverted power bombardments have a chance to generate essence burst. I think the diverted power is going to be the best in slot. This could be good, just maybe if they give bombardment a little bit more damage to it, but I think overall having the free essence burst is just nice, especially because that builds into the Titanic Wrath, where you have essence burst. It's going to increase the damage of the affected spells by 15%, to which, hey, look, this is also 1 talent point now, so we can go down into all this and have Font of Magic as well. Life's good for Dev right now. It's super strong. Now, last bit of talents on this Scalecommander tree: Onslaught. Entering combat grants a charge of burnout, which is just super nice, causing your next living flame to be instant. Unrelenting Siege is super strong. The more you fight, basically, the stronger you get. The more you're just in combat, your Azure Strike, Living Flame, and Disintegrate deal 1% increased damage up to 15%. Super good, super strong. And this is a really nice one too, because it just gives us more mobility. So Nimble Flyer, I don't think anybody ever in their mind is going to be playing this. It just, while hovering, you take 10% reduced damage from area of effect moves. But we're going to be taking Slipstream, of course. Even in PvE, I don't think people are going to be taking that. I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't really do it all that much. But Slipstream, Deep Breath, resets the cooldown of hover. So we can use a hover to go in, put up our Shroud, and then we can use another hover once they engage on us to get away, and then they'll use one of their abilities, and then we could easily just set up with our deep breath, get 2 more hovers, and then they got to use a gap closer, and then we use a hover, they use their gap closer, we use our other hover, we're good. It's great. I love it. And this is the best part of the whole tree, the whole Scalecommander thing. Deep breath can now be steered in your desired direction, so you can swoop around, you can snake around, dude. There was a match I had last night. I was able to stun and then loop around to get the other targets, and it was just so good, dude. And again, Deep Breath burns the target for extra volcanic damage for 12 seconds. It's super strong. So that's covering Scalecommander. All right, so our burst rotation, it's pretty straightforward, just like how it's always been. Nothing's really changed with it. But, you know, as you can see, getting into combat, we do get a free burnout, and Unrelenting Siege does start to build up. So if you can, I'd say kind of trying to just wait for this to build up so you can get the maximum amount of damage out of your Disintegrate rotation. But, you know, as I was talking about before in the last guide, so you're going to do Dragon Rage, Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, Tip Fire Breath, and Mass Disintegrate is going to either hit 1 target or all 3 targets. I don't know why it's not even close enough to hit those. But as you hit them, as you can see, bombardment gets put onto it, and if you reapply a Mass Disintegrate, it's going to extend that bombardment, so you can still get good value and good damage off of that 1 target as well. You know, once you get your Shattering Star back, go ahead, Eternity Surge, Fire Breath for that 1 tick, and then get your Mass Disintegrate. It can be said you can just rotate to different targets with your Mass Disintegrate to get a little bit more proc chance in just 2 different targets, especially if they're not really grouped up together. That could be some value there. It all depends on, you know, the placement in the scenario, because if you kind of just want to do some split pressure, you know, you can hit 1 target right there, disintegrate this target here, and then have 2 of them just kind of hit different targets at the same time. It could be good. It all depends on the scenario. Obviously, you don't want to be splitting the pressure. If your target is really close to getting killed, you want to put the most amount of pressure onto that single target. If you're kind of just going about and just doing a normal rotation and you don't have any burst going, I say feel free to mark up different targets if you want. Just kind of split the pressure up. It looks like it gives a good amount of value, as you can see just from the target dummies alone. But I've also done that in actual matches. It doesn't seem too bad to be able to do that. So normal rotation, as you can see, as I'm talking, I'm just doing my Disintegrates, reapplying Fire Breath, doing my surges, Mass Disintegrates on targets as I can, using my burnouts just through and through. You kind of want to, you know, just use your burnouts as they come, because it's free damage right there, instant, and it's usually going to hit for anywhere, at least for right now, anywhere between 340k to like 5 something, depending on what you have for your unrelenting siege, and also if you have any iridescence going on. But it's pretty straightforward. Use your burnouts, use your mass disintegrates on targets you want to be able to kill, and just kind of rotate through your disintegrates, your living flame, burnout procs, and all that good stuff. So it's nothing really different. You just have a more AoE compatibility with your mass disintegrates and just more damage overall. It's really, really strong, I can't lie. And as you can see, the melt armor, super strong as well. 200k, over 200k on the crits, and just having that overall. And then, as you can see, the cooldown reduction right here from the bombardments that's going to happen. So we're at 35 seconds right here. We just went down to 26, just like that. 18. So you get your deep breath back super quick. It's actually really nice, because then again, that works into your hovers. Once you use them all up, your hovers up, and then your bombardment go ahead and clears that up. Look at that. I'm at still 10 seconds by the time I landed right there. And then I had my hovers, so I could have waited for my hovers to kind of cool down a bit and just get a little bit lower, use my deep breath, and then use my hovers again. And I still have time spiral to go up with that. I can get so much mobility and have so much uptime on my hovers. It's super strong. Now we're gonna cover the Flameshaper. I know there is a lot of people who don't believe in it. I'm looking at you, coach. Now Flameshaper is a little bit different. For the talents, we got engulf your target in dragon flame, damaging them for fire damage or healing a target. For each of your periodic effects on the target, effectiveness is increased by 50%. That means you have this plus your essence abilities are enhanced with flame to deal 20% of healing or damage done as fire damage over 8 seconds. So your disintegrate is going to put a dot on the target, and it does stack with how much uptime you have with your disintegrates. So it will just keep going and keep adding on fire damage to it until it either gets dispelled or it just runs out. Super nice just having passive damage like that. It's kind of like the tier set we have, except not bad, you know. Then we have engulf, increases the duration of fire breath by 8 seconds and causes it to spread to a target within 25 yards, which is super strong because it will spread to like pets, it'll spread to other players, and it'll just give you better chances of having more burnouts as well. And on this one, we have Trailblazer and Shape of Flame. Trailblazer gives us hover and deep breath travel 40% faster, and hover travels 40% further. So this is super nice because it allows us to maneuver a lot quicker and a lot further. And then you have to use your mouse over macro because we don't have the steering ability on Flameshaper. So, you know, you just your normal mouse over macro. And if you need all of my macros, if you go to my Twitch, I will have a section in the about section with all my macros. So go ahead and go over there, copy them over, and you'll be all set. So it travels faster, which is super nice because you can catch people off guard. Like I've flown across maps and be able to stun a healer and then set up a CC on top of that. So that is really nice. Then we have Shape of Flame, Tail Swipe, and Wing Buffet. Scorch enemies and blind them with Ash, causing their next attack within 4 seconds to miss. This is ass because it can be any attack, and it's not even like a blanket like blinding light. It's just one of the attacks. So you can just, if somebody sees that on them, they can just be like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna waste a shitty move, and then just do it. You know, if you're doing like a rogue, he's just gonna cheap shot and then cheap shot again anyway. So this is just not good to have. Conduit of Flame, critical strike chance increased against targets above 50% by 10%. So that's actually kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie, I wish this was a little bit more, like maybe like 15%, 20% might be pushing it. I'd say 15% would probably make this a little bit better in my opinion. Engulf quickens your pulse, reducing the cast time of your next spell by 30%, stacking up to 2 charges. This is kind of nice. I can't lie, this is kind of nice to have because you can engulf and then you can go for a quick sleep onto a target. It'll be a reduced cast time. I think it'll be like, instead of 1.4 seconds, it might get it down to like, I think it was 0.8 seconds or something like that, which is really quick to be able to get off a fear like that. So it's nice to have. There's things you can do with it. Obviously, it'll increase the cast time. And then we have Fan the Flames, Expanded Lungs. Casting Engulf reignites all active and kindles, increasing the remaining damage or healing over time by 100%. And that's super strong. And then we have this. This is just... I'd say this is just more for like preservation. Fire Breath damage over time is increased by 20%. Dream Breath heal over time is increased by 20%. I don't know if the dot's really going to be making that much of a difference. This definitely feels more like a preservation kind of thing. Now we got more choices down here. We got Life Cinders and Draconic Instincts. Life Cinders, Renewing Blaze also applies to your target or one nearby injured ally at 50% value. So that's actually really strong if they're kind of like a split damage comp. This would just kind of help relieve your healer a little bit. I was playing with Draconic Instincts. Your wounds have a small chance to cauterize heal. Healing you for 30% of the damage taken occurs more often from attacks that deal higher damage. So this is good in theory. I just haven't had many good experiences yet, but I'm also in skirmishes, so maybe in the actual season while I'm queuing up my team and all that, there could be like a better use for this. But I think moving forward, I'm going to be using Life Cinders just because it has a little bit more value, I think. But we'll see moving forward. Then we got Red Hot. Engulf gains 1 additional charge and deals 20% increased damage and healing, which is nice because Engulf literally just got 30% damage increase. So that's huge right there. Then we got Titanic Precision. Living Flame and Azure Strike have 1 extra chance to trigger Essence Burst when they critically strike. That's kind of nice to have because yeah, Essence Burst does increase our damage from our disintegrates in general too. So that's just a good thing to have overall. And then finally, for the very last one, Consume Flame. Engulf consumes 4 seconds of fire breath from the target, detonating it and damaging all nearby targets equal to 300% of the amount consumed, reduced beyond 5 targets. I've hit some pretty damn big engulfs and some pretty damn big consumed flames. Definitely over like 1 million I've already hit before it got buffed. So this is just where the big burst comes into play. I could see this being really good in the DK comp too. Both specs, Scalecommander and Flameshaper. I can honestly see it both being super strong in those comps. And it's just really fun to see like where we're gonna be able to like look and get a feel for everything in the season moving forward. I think it's gonna be a great addition. I think overall both are going to be really good. Scalecommander just seems like it's a little bit in the lead when it comes to consistency, but hopefully moving forward Flameshaper can kind of show up and give somebody else a little bit more options instead of just blue beam god, you know, which don't get me wrong, I love the blue beam, but Flameshaper has been super fun. I like just kind of making somebody explode in flame, so it's really cool. So the damage rotation, your engulf relies on having more damage done and healing depending on how many dots or periodic effects that you have on them, right? So obviously one of our dots is going to be enkindled, and then the other one's going to be fire breath. So we're going to Dragon Rage, Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, Engulf, and if you wanted to, you could do a second one, but I want to try and I guess space it out just a little bit. Like we can get on our second round go about right here. We're gonna, I still have tip fire breath, so I'm gonna use that, Engulf, and then just big damage right there, dude. Now I'm gonna Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, just use the rest of my Iridescence and Essence Burst and all that. So that was kind of the burst rotation there. You want to get your dots up and then make sure you use your Engulf on that. You know, having the Iridescence also helps as well. So we had big damage from everything overall in general. You know, our Fire Breath still hitting good, our Surge is hitting good, but our Engulfs, dude, oh my god, a 1.2 million normal and then almost a 3 million critical. Jesus, dude. Now you gotta remember, the engulf damage is also this like being done at the same time as the consumed flame. So that is over 3 million right there. And then just having the dot from the disintegrate is just nice, dude. This is just a better obsidian shard dot, which is good. It was just good to have, you know? It's about time we got a good dot to use. But overall, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, you know. And if you don't have Dragon Rage up, you know, you don't need really to have Dragon Rage to still be able to do big damage with that. I mean, that still did 660 right there with a critical strike at low health. So hey, whatever you want to play, go ahead and play it. I'm having a lot of fun with Flameshaper. Scalecommander is really fun too. Either way you cut it, Evoker is feeling great this season. So that's my guide for the Devastation Evoker, the rotation, the gear, the stats, the talents, all that stuff. You know, if you guys have any questions, please let me know down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed the video, like it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed, because I got plenty more guides and videos along the way. I will have a BG video coming out too about Flameshaper, so that's going to be really fun. I'm going to be doing some augmentation videos as well, so if you guys want a guide for that when it comes to Chrono Warden and Scalecommander, let me know. I'll put them all into just one video, just like I did with this one. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, thank you for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I catch you all next video and the next live stream. Follow my stream. Do it. Do it. Do it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Peace.
Thank you so much for watching the video. If y'all enjoyed it, don't forget to like it, share it around, and subscribe to the channel. If y'all want to see more by me, check out the playlist and the most recent uploads. Once again, thank you all for watching. Hopefully I catch you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.